Hey guys, welcome to another Tuesday Tech Tips. I'm your host, Benjamin Hobb, one of the owners here at Eagle Vision Video Productions. And today we got something a little bit different. Today we have a piece of equipment that we haven't even used ourselves. And it is the Tilta Hydra Alien Arm. We have not used this piece of equipment yet, but it is something that we've always wanted. We purchased an old Subaru that we were gonna rig up to be our traveling camera car. Aside from opening it up, I have not set this up, used it at all. So first thing I noticed is the case. I myself, I'm not really a big fan of smooth metal cases. I much prefer polymer cases like Pelican cases where it's got a bit of forgiveness to it when you do bang it against the wall or a doorway when you're bringing it in places. It's going to look well used relatively quickly. Not that I should be worried about how the cases look, but that was a concern of mine. You've got your power and your adapter where your RS mount would go. And you've got dual V-Lock batteries. Oh, it looks like these are removable as well. It's got these isolators here to take out micro vibrations out of your RS mount as well to give it a little bit, they are quite tight. So I don't know how much that is actually going to be isolating. One thing I really like are all these, they call them washers, but they're just basically a large bolt that you can use your Allen key to tighten them on. I really like that setup because you can really get them tight and be confident with your setup and lock them all in place. But there is your head. This is your main support arm here. So you've got basically, this guy here ends up being your triangle setup. So this one you would put probably that's the L4 they call this one. You'd most likely be putting 2 suction cups on this and then a third one, I'm assuming on one of these guys, L1, L3.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
You've got counterweights. These are for if you need to make your rig heavier or offset. If you have, again, one battery on one side, you can put weights on the other side so that your rig is not cockeyed or wanting to tilt. And 4, so yeah, you've got 4 of these weights. They make a fun noise coming out. And then you've got your version 2 of your arm. So just for argument's sake, I'm not gonna mount it to that one because it'll probably fall over. So your rig, you go onto your arm like this. Now there's all sorts of different mounting configurations that you can do here. So bear with me. This is my first time kind of looking at everything. And then this should, in theory, maybe there's a lock on it, but it should slide down. Yeah, there we go. Okay. This is what gives you your isolation. You want your camera kind of be sitting that midway like this when you have all your weight of your balanced RS and everything. That is your basic arm stabilization. This is your dampening, so this stops it from just bouncing forever. We've got our actual mount here for the RS. So this would slide into your actual adapter on the side of the RS. This would be screwing into the base plate of this guy right here. This onto the bottom here and your RS off to the bottom of that. I like that it has a mechanical lock. That gives a good amount of security for making sure that the actual RS is gonna stay onto the bottom of the rig. This also has LEMO breakouts for all your power accessories, which you can bring up to your V-mount batteries up top. Anything else in there? Okay, that leaves basically just the suction cups. So you've got one large one and 2 smaller ones. I like that they're pretty thick base on them, nice and flexible. You always want to keep these very, very, very clean. These are pretty simple. They have the same washer connectors, so and pins as well. And then these as well should flex. Yeah, so they do flex if the angle of your window isn't matching the angle of your bars and whatnot. But the same thing, these all lock in, all sorts of different angles, and they've got their pins in there so it can't rotate once it's on there. Then essentially you Stuff it on your vehicle, push it down nice, and it'll kind of suction cup a little bit on there first, on your vehicle. And you just push this thing until you no longer see that white line. I don't even know how to get this off now. Okay, that's not coming off the table. Pull up and, fancy. Take these little rubber tabs, pull them up, and that breaks your seal. And then obviously out comes your cap. Not a big fan about how these covers go on. You really have to mush them in there. I'd be worried about marring that edge. So this one's got a bit more play. This I don't mind, because you can really put the suction cup in there without marring that edge. You've got a lot of play on this cap. The main surface you really want to be careful with is this little lip right along the whole edge. That's where you get the majority of your strength on your seal. Next week, we are going to be throwing this onto a vehicle and doing a lot of test shots. So if you want to see what this thing can actually do, feel free to come back next Tuesday. Thank you for joining us for this Tuesday's Tech Tip.